Today we're going to be talking about Arrow Season 1. Today we're going to begin the Arrowverse shows review. And today I'm going to do Arrow Season 1, the beginning of it all. Now, wow, is this a really rough start to one of my favorite shows. You see, Arrow Season 1 is by far the worst season of Arrow. Some people say Season 4, Season 3, Season 6. I don't agree with those. And I even know a YouTuber who says Season 8 is the worst. I respect all of their opinion. I disagree. I think Season 1 is by far the worst. Season 1 just by far the worst. So let's get... Now, like a normal season, you do have some good elements, but mostly bad. Let's start over with good. Some good elements were the fight scenes. They were pretty nice. The flashbacks were amazing. I just wish we spent more time on the flashbacks than in the present day. One of the positives was... Sorry, that was just wind. Wind today is a little crazy. But anyways, that's beside the point. One of the good things I like about Arrow was how dark it was. But now let's get into the negatives. And first, starting out, the biggest negative was Thea. Oh my god, I could not even stand her. The fact that she would... The thing is, when people say that Felicity was more like the main character in Season 4, I don't agree with that. Because Oliver actually was a side character in Season 1. Thea was just so annoying that I actually stopped watching Arrow for a while. That's really sad. I actually stopped watching Arrow for a while and actually just moved over to watching Flash because Flash Season 1 was better. So it was actually kind of rough for me to sit through Arrow Season 1 at times. So much so that I actually left to stop watching and I had to binge watch it on Netflix. But yeah, Thea was so annoying in Season 1. So much so that I actually sometimes stopped watching. That is actually really sad. Because, and the thing is, Thea actually felt more like the main character of the show. Of this specific season. Like, she had the drug problem storyline. She had the relationship drama storyline. You had so much more storylines with her rather than Oliver Queen, who the show is basically about. Another thing is how they were treating Laurel. When people say that Laurel's death was not needed in Season 4, well, in my opinion, it doesn't actually disrespect the comics because Black Canary has actually died several times in the comics, so it makes sense that they're not necessarily disrespecting. Although, yeah, I really would have wished she stayed longer. One of the biggest issues with Laurel is the fact that they were only a couple for like 2 episodes, 2 or less. I don't know. Only a few episodes, and that is all automatically disrespecting the comics. Like, such a huge middle finger and such a huge insult to Green Arrow writers, to Black Canary writers. What were Greg Berlanti and Andrew Kreisberg thinking to just move away from Laurel and Oliver being together, which in my opinion they should have been from the very beginning? It's just such a middle finger at this point. Anyways, one of the biggest negatives I have with Season 1 is Felicity Smoke. In this particular season, it was dark. It was almost like a rated R show. And introducing a character like Felicity does not work very well because she's not meant to be in this specific show. In fact, if you're gonna make Oracle in Season 4, why not name her Barbara Gordon? There's actually more reasons to use Barbara Gordon from the comics than Felicity Smoke, because Felicity Smoke is more like a Firestorm character in the comics, so I think she would make sense on The Flash, but Barbara Gordon would have been better on Arrow. And actually, Barbara Gordon actually would make sense because Black Canary is a big member of the Birds of Prey. Barbara Gordon is a member of the Birds of Prey, so it makes sense that she would be on Arrow. What were the writers thinking? I don't know. In conclusion, Arrow Season 1 is by far the worst season of Arrow. It's boring, nothing interesting happens, and while the flashbacks were good, the characters were bad. Oliver Queen killing people was honestly a bad decision. Like, you're already making Oliver not that comic book accurate, and yet you're making even more comic book inaccurate. It's just disrespecting the comics. I would actually argue it would have been better if he killed people in the flashbacks, but tries to become a good person in the present day. Sure, maybe he can kill a few people in maybe one episode per day, one episode per episode, one time per episode. I meant, but it doesn't make sense that in that particular realm, where Oliver would just kill people and have PTSD, and it's almost like he didn't care about consequences where he should have done it. In fact, season 5 actually is the main reason. Yeah, Moira was a very boring character. Tommy, pretty annoying character. Overall, I would give this season in a 2 out of 10. Worst season of Arrow.